Okay, hey, just a quick video from the garage. I just put a new windshield on my bike. This is my 2016 Ducati Scrambler 800. And I just am out in the garage and thought I'd put a new windshield on. Let me show you what I had before. This is what I had before. And you see a lot of these on the internet. The custom Georgian cross on there. And that fits generally right about there. And you can see the size difference there. When I'm going down the highway at about anywhere 60, 70, 80 miles an hour, you just about get blown off the seat. And I did a 5-hour trip the other day down to the other end of Georgia to the Black Sea, and all I had was this. And it was just jerking my helmet around and everything else. And it was a bit of a windy day too that didn't help. But I thought, you know what, I need a bigger windshield for this baby. I like the small one because I do a lot of off-road. And doing a lot of off-road, well, you don't want a big windshield. Just something else to break or get stuck in the bushes or get torn off. But a lot of the way to getting to off-road or to adventure is on the highway. And maybe I'm just older. Had my 60th birthday not too long ago. And I'm a little bit tired of the wind in my face. If I want the wind in my face, I'll ride this bike. I'll ride my my Husky. But you know, it doesn't actually go that fast. This baby moves along. I've had it up to 125 miles an hour. And that's, you know, it's supposed to be its maximum speed, and I have to agree with that. So as I said, I wanted to get a new windshield. So I went on the internet, and I went to Amazon and saw what they had to offer. I went to different stores, you know, and the cheapest ones that looked like they were going to do any good at all, that were really going to block the wind and had a good mount, were over $100. So about $125, $140, up to $250, $350. And I thought, you know what, maybe I could just make one. So I got some plexiglass from an old windshield off my old 1970 Soviet Dnieper sidecar that I never really used. And I'll show it to you over here on the floor. And that's, the headlight sets right behind that, and then the plexiglass was right up in there. My question is, how do you cut plexiglass? I never really cut plexiglass successfully before. If I'm lisping a little bit, it's because I'm getting a tooth worked on, and I need to go in tomorrow and get a cap. So I've got a kind of a little bit of a Dracula tooth there for now. But there's a few ways I discovered you can cut plexiglass, because it will break if you don't cut it correctly. I've seen guys cut with just a razor knife, but that's great if it's just a square, but what if it's around the corner? Well, it's got a couple different things you can use. One is the old grinder here with a very thin blade on it, and you can shape it with that, and you can even sand it a bit with that. But when you're done, you'll need to use a little bit of sandpaper to smooth it out. Another thing I tried to use was my jigsaw. And it did kind of work, but you need a really fine blade. And the problem with that is it starts heating up and it starts burning. And it leaves kind of a mess along the edge of the plexiglass, right along in here. I've already, I've cut it. It was basically, came out and it was about this big. And so I drew with a dry erase marker, you know, like you'd use on a whiteboard. And I drew it out just where I wanted to get. And you know, how do you get that arc just right? Well, again, do it yourself, right? You got to think outside the box. You know what? This bucket top made a perfect arc. Look, you can see this here. That's the arc for the top. And then, basically from there, I just cut kind of down here and rounded it off a little bit. You can see this old mounting hole here. And I left those there just in case I wanted to put a second mount to here. Something that would give it a little more stability. But actually you can see it's pretty steady. The mount for the smaller windshield that I mentioned before was actually a pretty good mount. And, you know, so I just used that and drilled the holes. How do you drill holes in plexiglass? Again, you don't want to use a regular drill. You can, but actually one of these works really good. These taper drills, and you can stick it in and get just the right angle that you want. Call me a cheapskate. I've had people tell me that I'm a cheapskate, that I don't, you know, I get a nice bike and then I just put all this homemade stuff on it. Well, I like to do that, and I like to save money. And as you can see, it turned out pretty good. There's some minor scratches in it, but actually it's pretty nice, and I like that it's see-through. I want to be able to see the road, especially when I'm off-roading. I want to be able to look down and see through it. You can see from this angle. Get on the bike here. It's coming up. The old one was only coming up about that far, so this is coming up this far. And I should be able to lean into that a bit and get a pretty good wind block. Haven't tried it yet. As you can see, it's outside, it's dark, and I'm just at the end of my work day, and I thought I'd come out and play with the bike a little bit, and started making this windshield. I probably should have started filming from the start so you could see more of the process and what it looked like before. But if you can find a rounded piece of plexiglass, and you know, there's some on the internet that are actually only about $26. Now, I don't know how good those are, but this one's actually Russian made. So this came with a 1970 Soviet Dnieper. It was an upgrade for it, but still it was made in Russia. So Russia doesn't tend to make the best quality stuff in the world. Maybe they imported the plexiglass from somewhere else. But, you know, it's actually pretty nice. So you can buy one of the cheaper ones. And if you want to reshape it, it's not that hard. Yeah, you use your grinder. I use the grinder actually right here. And then I used a little bit of sandpaper to just kind of straighten it out. And on this part, I used the jigsaw. But I will warn you, that jigsaw, if it starts bouncing, boom, it'll bust it right off. I did have a piece, fortunately broke to the outside, and it broke off. So I knew it was a chance when I started to build it, and I knew that, you know, hey, maybe it wouldn't work and maybe I'd break it. But, you know, it's just a little bit of fun in the garage. And you know what? It turned out pretty good. And you know how much it cost me? Nothing. So I'm going to go out and try it out tomorrow. And I'll try to give a little update in the notes below to let you know how it went. So, hey, get out to the garage, have some fun, build some stuff. And just a reminder, you know, these, sorry, just doing this with my phone. This fork cover is not the original. The originals are carbon fiber, and they cost, I think it was over $200. These were $15. And they're actually for an XR400, and they're actually made in Italy, where the other ones weren't. And the same thing with this. This is not the original. This was an Icon, but I like the Urban Enduro look, so I bought some plastic fenders on Amazon. And these, again, these are actually made in Italy. And you can see my other videos for, you know, exactly what they are. But they work really good. And the same thing with this back one. I know my license plate's a little bit bent, but it's kind of on purpose that way. It makes it harder for the cameras to read it. And this sticks out far enough to where I don't get a shower of mud on my back. And so, you know, plastic is pretty easy to work with. I just want to show you one more thing. A new sticker my son-in-law made. And this might seem a little bit arrogant to say something like that. Safety is not my first concern. But you know what, it came to my mind is when I was out riding my bike, and I'd show a picture of it on Facebook, and I'd get all these comments. Stay safe. Stay safe. Oh, be careful. Be careful. But you know what? I thought I wouldn't be riding a motorcycle if I wanted to be safe. You know, safety is good, and we don't want to risk our lives. But I suppose that's what men do. And women, some women too. We risk things. We enjoy the risk. And for me, you know, yeah, I guess it's a risk. I'm an older guy, 60 years old, to go out and ride bikes. You know, especially this one, the Enduro, Husky Enduro. But I try to ride safely, but it's not my first concern. My first concern is enjoying myself and spending time in God's creation and seeing the world. You know, and honestly, I put my hope in my Savior, Jesus. to keep me safe. You know, and not that I act foolishly, but on the other hand, I trust that he's going to take care of me. And so far, I've done pretty good. And hopefully, I got a few more years on this body. Well, have a great day. And have fun in the garage. And I hope you enjoyed this video, as short as it is. And yeah, I'm looking forward to keeping the wind out of my face. Have a great day.